Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm all right. And yourself?
Good. It's the final Friday of October.
It's Halloween weekend.
I know, it is Halloween weekend, and we've got people having costume parties and stuff like that tonight and all kinds of fun things. So be safe if you're out doing that. You know, don't drink and drive. Coming up, we're going to be talking with Randy Anderson, and the program is called Talk of a Lifetime. So looking forward to chatting with Randy to find out what that's all about. I believe he's got a book, I have to read my notes.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. I should probably do that before.
Probably. That's
Randy, I'll be talking to you.
Kind of disrespectful.
No, it's not either. I'll talk to him before I talk to him. I'll know what I'm talking about. Hey, playing with puppies and kittens has been proven to relieve stress and help students perform better on tests. We need to have some puppies and kittens in here while we're doing this show.
We have doggies.
Yeah, we should bring our puppies in the studio the whole time we're doing this. Did you know a caterpillar grows roughly 27,000 times its size when it first emerges as an egg? So from an egg to full grown, 27,000 times bigger. That is crazy. So there you go. Coming up, some fun stuff for today. We'll tell you all about it in a bit. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Friday, October the 28th. It's Champagne Day. Do you like champagne?
Not so much.
You know, for
I'm
me,
not a fan.
It really depends on the kind of champagne. I've had some that's really good, and I've had some that's
it's too bubbly.
Not so much. It's also International Bandana Day today. National Breadstick Day. Sorry, I get everybody excited in other countries.
I love breadsticks.
I know you do. National Chocolate Day. You know what would be really good? Chocolate and breadsticks. That'd be good.
Chocolate dipped breadsticks.
There you go. National, it's St. Jude's Day today and Frankenstein Friday.
There you go.
There you go. All of that stuff going on this Friday, the 28th day of October. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. There's going to be some upset witches, Heidi.
Oh.
No Halloween parties in one school district in Washington State. According to a Seattle TV station, a spokesperson for the Puyallup School District said there were 3 reasons that the parties will be canceled. You ready for these?
Sure.
The first reason was that, quote, Halloween parties and parades waste valuable classroom time.
Oh, my gosh.
I think you need a little bit of time wasted to have fun. They're kids. Remember that? Second reason was that, quote, some families can't afford costumes. I remember when I was a kid, there were times that money was tight, but you can always come up with something.
Right. You can make stuff at home. It
doesn't have to be expensive.
Some of the best costumes are the ones that you make yourselves anyway.
And the third reason is, and I quote, these parties may offend real witches, end quote.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not even kidding. That is for real. She said schools have received complaints from followers of the Wiccan religion.
Oh, my gosh.
Who are offended at the way Halloween is celebrated at their schools.
Oh, my gosh.
I've never heard of such a thing. So, I don't know.
How large of a Wiccan population can they possibly have in any community?
This is happening in Seattle, but here's the thing.
Well,
I don't know if you know this.
I guess if I had known that, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Oh, well, then in that case. But here's the thing. It's not like it's dressed like a witch day. I mean, there are people dressed like Frankenstein. Is there a Frankenstein organization that's upset too? You know, there are kids that dress up like the presidential candidates. Those people get upset.
It's insane.
There are people that used to dress up like clowns.
All of this political correctness stuff is just destroying every
kids,
bit of fun.
Back when we were kids,
from this country,
we used to dress up and get candy on this day. So.
Yeah, I know. Good times, just so you know. Good memories.
Awesome. Anyway, this happened in Seattle, and you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. It's always a good idea to stop drinking. Like if it's a habit that, it's a bad thing for you, it's probably not a bad thing to stop. And, it's good for the people around you. But there's one guy that went about it not such a bright way. He was trying to stay sober, serving part of a friend's jail sentence to see if they could fool the system. Well,
I think I've heard about this.
Came up with this brilliant idea while they were drunk, of course.
I think we've talked about this.
The man posed as his friend and started a 1-month drunk driving sentence. Was discovered after 2 weeks in jail. A court has since found him guilty of perjury and wrongful use of another person's identity. He now gets to fulfill that sentence, and his friend is in there for the original sentence. So, I don't know if this is the same one. I think this is something different.
You know what? I honestly
the other
don't
one was
know
two brothers.
For sure. I mean, I'm torn on this one. I don't know if I have a problem with this or not.
Why?
I mean, if you've got somebody who's willing to serve that time for you, and so he's really trying to better himself, but he can't, say, afford to go to rehab, this kind of pushes you into rehab. We know people who have bettered themselves because of jail time.
Yeah.
So because of that, I don't know that I have a problem with this.
It's
better than
right.
encouraging someone to go commit a crime so that they get put in jail.
That's true. Very
right?
true. Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, if they can't afford to go to rehab,
So
if you can find somebody who's already got some jail time, say, hey, I'll stay in jail for you.
Right. Well,
I don't know. Obviously it's wrong.
It is.
But I mean, heck, if somebody wants to do it for you, I'd let them.
All right. Maybe you could find somebody online that can serve your jail sentence for it. Coming up, we've got your moment.
Put it on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Somebody will answer.
We got your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh is a non-thinking police officer that sniffed the contents of an envelope to see if it was anthrax.
Oh, boy.
This happened in South Africa. So, they have systems there that may be a little different than systems here. But he called to the home of a man that received a strange letter in the mail. The officer was given an envelope containing a powder. He was there to investigate. Outside of the envelope had a skull and a crossbone and the words, "What do you wish?
Gosh.
What do you wish for, death or anthrax?" Nevertheless, the police officer opened the envelope anyways, stuck his nose inside and took a whiff. He said, "This is just baby powder." So, anyway, the man who received the thing in the envelope says, "I seriously think that officer needs more training." That is the best.
The problem may sort itself out soon, honestly.
You guys might want to train that officer. You know what he just did over here?
Oh, my goodness.
All right, coming up, we have your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Another community has banned clowns. Several communities around the country have banned clowns this year. And this one is Kempner County, Missouri. Officially banned clowns until after Halloween. It is officially unlawful now for any person of any age to appear in any public place in that county in a clown costume, clown mask, or clown makeup, punishable by a fine of up to $150. So there you go. If you had a birthday party planned, tough stuff. Can you imagine that?
What if you make your living as a clown? I wonder if there's an exemption for
I don't
them.
know. Maybe you get an official card you can carry. I have no clue. Hey, the other day in New Jersey, an 85-year-old man and an 86-year-old woman got married. So 85 and 86, they finally got married. But they've been engaged for 73 years. Just kidding. I don't know how long they've been. I was just teasing. I have no clue how long they've been engaged. But, I know some friends that, they've been together forever, but they're not married. Maybe they'll be 85 and 86, and they'll finally, okay, let's just do it. Let's get married. It's official. You can be nagged to death, Heidi.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't tell me to do things.
It's not the nagging that's going to kill you. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
Researchers have found that men in miserable marriages are 64% more at risk of suffering a fatal stroke than guys in strong relationships. Here, give me your hand. We have a strong relationship. Feel that. Oh, man, it's such a strong relationship. It says here, things are just as bleak for single guys, according to a team from Tel Aviv University in Israel. Experts say it's because people like me, happily married men, tend to take better care of their health and be less stressed. Well, that just blew up in my face. Take better care of themselves, of their health, says the over 300-pound man, and have less stress, says the man who's got more gray hair today than I had even yesterday. All right, 34% of those answering a survey said they have passed off takeout food as something they made themselves when they had friends over for dinner.
I have never done that. I can honestly say I have never, ever, ever done that.
So someone's like, this chicken is delicious. Oh, yeah, that's my secret family recipe.
I've never done that.
We have 11 secret herbs and spices. I can't tell you what they are because I don't know. Hey, Panera says they're going to start using, quote, clean bacon with no artificial preservatives, colors, or flavors. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Is other bacon have colors?
Bacon has colors?
I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get some rainbow bacon for this weekend. That'd be delicious. Some colleges are now turning to coloring books to help their students relieve their stress in life. Oh, these kids today. They have safe places and coloring books. I mean, seriously.
Wouldn't it be like going back to kindergarten if you were in college today?
That's what it sounds like.
I mean, you can't say anything mean to anybody, and you have to do 10 positives for every negative.
It's kind of crazy.
And there's a nap time, and there's a safe
I don't think they
space,
have
and
nap
there's a
times.
timeout.
They don't have timeouts.
And there's coloring books.
Some of this stuff Heidi's making up, but many of those things are for real. So colleges turning to coloring books now for the kids to relieve their stress. MetLife has decided to take their advertising in a different direction. Snoopy has been fired after 31 years on the job.
Aww.
He was always sleeping on the job anyway, on top of a doghouse. So I think it was time he got fired. Final story today. Researchers at Yale University say that chocolate may be good for pregnant women. That's good news. Because when you're pregnant, what's one thing you crave? Chocolate.
No, when you're having your period, one thing you crave is chocolate. Not necessarily when you're pregnant.
When you're pregnant as well.
I didn't really crave chocolate when I was pregnant.
I craved chocolate when you were pregnant. Then again, I'm craving chocolate right now, and you're not pregnant. So maybe this is something completely different. Coming up, we've got, we got a guest. That's right. Randy Anderson, Talk of a Lifetime. That is on the way. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice too at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a special guest joining us today. The month of October is Family History Month, and we're going to be visiting right now with Randy Anderson, and he's with talkofalifetime.org. Randy, how are you, sir?
John, I'm doing fine.
Well, we're glad to have you on the program. And Family History Month, this is kind of a neat month. It's a month that a lot of people maybe don't even know that they should be checking into things this time of the year about, talking about their family history and learning a little more about it. But as you take a look right now and look at the things that maybe people should be talking to their families about, what are some of the questions they should be asking when they're visiting with grandma and grandpa and talking to mom and dad about their family history?
That's great, John. We, of course, October is Family History Month. We follow that up with the Talk of a Lifetime Month, and we know that a lot of people want to know. About 87% of the people want to know about their family history. The Talk of a Lifetime provides the opportunity for families to sit down together, to collect information, to make them aware of how their families want to be remembered.
Now, your profession, you work with a funeral home. How long have you been in that position? How long have you been doing that in that profession?
I've been a funeral service professional for 25 years.
And I'm sure you've probably had people that have had this experience, because I've had it myself, where I'll be going to a funeral for somebody that I know, and then I read the little bulletin, the little page that they hand out, and I learned so much about them that I didn't even know when, we were friends for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. And there are also people that I'm sure that they've had that happen with their own family member. They're sitting there reading it and going, I have no clue that Grandpa did that. Wouldn't it be great to have those conversations while they're alive and be able to talk to them about these things while they're alive?
That's exactly right. We need to learn more about our families and the things that they've done and share the stories with them before we have to plan a memorial service.
So as you've been working with people on this project, this Talk of a Lifetime project, how is this? Is it pretty well received? Is this something that people are pretty excited about?
Yes, sir. I have found in my community that a lot of people are very excited about the activities that they can be provided with to have that Talk of a Lifetime. And to have the Talk of a Lifetime program helps people to share their memories, to provide lessons learned, share life stories, values, interests, and experience, ways that they might not think that they would be remembered without the prompting of the Have the Talk of a Lifetime program.
And I'm looking on here some suggestions on how to have the Talk of a Lifetime. And if you go to the website, you can actually get a lot of great detail. It's really neat. But it says, some of the things to talk to mom and dad about, or grandma and grandpa about, or, what's your proudest achievement? And what's the one piece of advice you received from your parents or grandparents that you never forgot? And these are things that, when you're right now, it's great that this happens in October because we got 2 big holidays coming up. One in November, Thanksgiving, where there's usually a lot of family. Another one coming up here in December, Christmas time, where there's usually a lot of family. This is a great opportunity to arrange this to be able to have the Talk of a Lifetime.
Right. I actually have an event planned for my family at Thanksgiving. We're going to have the Talk of a Lifetime program and some of the prompts there and do video recordings of each of our family members sharing their most memorable moments of life. And I think that's just one thing that a lot of people could do while we're together as families, share those memories, record those memories, so that we know them now and also have the opportunity to better remember them at their passing. And
the nice thing is to be able to record that with the technology we have today. At one point in our history, that would have been really hard to do. Well, now if you've got a 12-year-old with a phone, you can do it.
Absolutely right.
Again, visiting right now with Randy Anderson, and he is a funeral professional, and we're talking right now about something that is, I think it's a cool thing. It's called Have the Talk of a Lifetime. They have a website, talkofalifetime.org, and it's an awareness and education initiative to help families have important conversations during which they can discuss things that matter most about how a person's life story can be remembered and honored in a meaningful way. When did this project start? When did you guys get started with this?
This project was born from the Funeral and Memorial Information Council, John. Surveys said that about 89% of the people over 40 felt like it was important to have to discuss their end-of-life issues. So FAMIC developed this program and in coordination with several other organizations that are members of the Funeral and Memorial Information Council. And we presented it to the public and have had really great response from that.
And I see here a Harris Interactive survey says 87% of American adults are interested in learning about their family histories. And I'll bet it's probably even higher than that. That's the percentage that said they're interested. But I think when it comes right down to it, I think we all want to know a little more about where we came from.
Right. And what we found, John, is that people want to know, but they have a difficult time starting those conversations. So that's what Have the Talk of a Lifetime does. And our website, talkofalifetime.org, provides downloadable guides and conversation starters, activities, and ways to document those stories and memories.
And the nice thing is, with this website, talkofalifetime.org, it's a public service. So this is not something where I have to go and put in a credit card and it's a way for me to have this conversation, and I think it's a wonderful project that you guys are working on.
Yes, sir. And that website also, if you want more face-to-face contact, you can find a funeral service professional in your area that's participating in the program, and we'll be able to contact them directly.
Well, Randy, thank you for taking some time to visit with us about this program. And again, I think it's a great idea. I really appreciate you guys doing this. And again, I'm going to make sure we remind people the website so they can have the Talk of a Lifetime. Again, the website is talkofalifetime.org. talkofalifetime.org. And again, Mr. Anderson, thank you, sir.
Thank you, John. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Again, Randy Anderson right there. And I think this is just such a great idea. I know, again, in my family, I remember sitting at a funeral in our family and reading, what do they call is it a bulletin? That's not the right word, though, is it? What do they call the little paper?
Memorial folder, right?
Yeah. So I remember sitting and reading one of those about a family member of ours. And there was so much information in that I didn't even know about. And I remember thinking, man, I really wish I would have had a chance to talk to him about this during his life. One of the stories that they shared at the funeral was when he was 12 years old. He wasn't even old enough to drive yet, but he purchased a car because he had like 3 different jobs, and he parked the car around the block. His parents didn't know he owned it. He didn't have a license to drive it, but he would drive this car from place to place. And I just remember thinking, how funny it was that he did that. And I was like, I would have loved to have talked to him about that, but I didn't even know until it was too late, till he was gone and I was sitting at the funeral. And I remember reading about this and learning about this and thinking, that's a whole side of this man that I didn't even know. So this is a great opportunity to be able to have those conversations while the people are with you, and you can have those. And it's not as hard as you might think. And again, the website, if you'd like to know more, talkofalifetime.org. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you ready for Duel? Kyle Dowling on guitar, Brett Gunderson on bass, Sam DeVito on drums, and frontman Duel Shane.
Gotta keep rocking, gotta keep sucking, bringing it down like rain.
Duel's new single just hit iTunes and it's selling fast. Get your copy now.
When you're locked in chains and you feel no pain, Supernova gonna get you too.
Their first single, Supernova, is available now for less than $1. Learn more and find a direct link to buy Supernova at facebook.com/duelrocks.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
This was given to me from a listener, and I've got some fun facts all about Jelly Belly jelly beans. Very Cherry remained the most popular flavor of jelly beans for 2 decades until a new one came along in 1998. You know which one that was?
Flavored popcorn.
Yeah, buttered popcorn is what they call it.
Oh, that's so
Moved
good.
to the first place. A couple of fun facts. Hey,
Those are awesome jelly beans.
They are very good. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A portrait of Ronald Reagan made from 10,000 Jelly Belly jelly beans hangs in the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I really wish we would have gone there.
We're going to go someday. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
During his presidency, Ronald Reagan had jelly beans served in the Oval Office and on Air Force One. And there was a holder designed specifically for the plane so the jar of jelly beans would not spill during turbulence.
Awesome. I
is.
loved that man. I miss that man.
Our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It takes 7 to 21 days to make a single Jelly Belly jelly bean.
Really?
Yeah, per jelly bean. So 7 days up to 21 days for them to make a jelly bean. So next time you're eating one of those, just keep that in mind. Eric, thank you so much for this list. And he gave that to me on Tuesday, and I forgot to do it up until just now. So I see it's all folded up because I had it in my pocket, and I was like, oh, hey, that's right. So there's some fun facts for you on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. A lot of communities are going to be busy and like overrun with kids on Monday for Halloween, right? Mm-hmm. So how can you keep your house from being the target this Halloween? Here are some things you can do from Good Housekeeping magazine. Good tips, some of these. Take a listen here. It says, be friendly when you hand out candy.
Of course.
No
always.
Kidding? What are you supposed to do? Say, get out of here, you little jerk.
I mean, why would you not be friendly?
know.
They're small children
I
getting
don't
candy.
know.
But you have to be careful if you get some like 16, 17-year-old kid at your door to not say, I don't give candy to big kids.
Yeah.
You're too big for this or something like that, because those are the ones
light
that
your car
will
on
come
fire.
back and get your house.
Next, place jack-o'-lanterns in windows rather than on steps or walkways. That way they cannot be kicked over and smashed.
Who cares if they smash them? What are you going to do with them the day after Halloween anyway?
I don't know. Next, keep exterior lights on all night, even after the trick-or-treaters
That's
are
a good
all in bed
idea.
and asleep. Play loud music or turn up the TV so sounds come from the house, because if they think you're in there, even if you're gone, like if you go to a Halloween party or something, if they think you're in here, they won't mess with you. Next, make sure walkways are clear and well lit. That's a good plan, no matter what.
That's a very good plan.
Put your car in the garage or cover them with a tarp. What? Cover with a tarp? Who wrote this list?
Well, can you imagine what like eggs would do to a car?
Oh,
to
that's
paint
not
on a
good.
car?
Yeah, it's bad. Next, store trash cans inside. Put bicycles away, lawn equipment away, yard decorations away, anything that's portable and stealable, put it away. And then the final thing is keep your pet indoors. That is a very good tip, to keep your pet indoors. As a matter of fact, we spoke with Steve Dale yesterday. We talked about Halloween tips for pets, and he was saying how some pets get kind of freaked out from the doorbell ringing all night long. So he said,
In our situation, I almost think ours would be better on the back deck than in
Well,
the house
I don't
during
know.
the doorbell ringing.
I think I'm going to put them downstairs and crank the music up. So they'll have like their own little puppy party going on.
There you go.
We're like, wow, this is awesome. He gave
Turn on a
us
strobe light.
like jerky treats and set us free. So.
Set the fog machine up.
Or party animals in the basement. All right, couple of tips right there for Halloween. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner or the person in charge of advertising, I have a special offer just for you. We're doing a jingle special this month. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? How would you like to be the name in your industry and have people singing your song? We've worked with hundreds of small businesses to create their own musical image, and we want to help you too. Reach out right now and we'll give you $500 off. Squeeze it into this year's budget and get results for years to come. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
We are so darn spoiled these days, Heidi. I mean, we got smartphones that do all kinds of stuff, but you know what? There's some people that want even more.
Of course.
What would you want? Is there anything that you would want your smartphone to do that it doesn't do?
No.
Okay, well, take a listen to this. A lot of people out there want to have different things. So there's one person that said they would like to have a recording device to record memos to themselves. Okay, you can do that.
You can do that. There's an
Download-
app for that.
Another person says, I'd like a little flip-up mirror. Are you serious?
You can buy phone cases for that.
Okay, there you go. People in Scandinavia think that phones should have more features. Let's see, a flap on the... Oh, one was a fire alarm for executives staying at a hotel. What? They wanted something that measures elevation, wind force, and air pressure.
What?
Cell phones with built-in flashlights. I have that on mine. It's an app you can get.
Yeah.
Even ideas suggested of equipping cell phones with a small stick with which weight-conscious users could penetrate their hamburger or salad to measure calories.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. Scandinavians are really wanting smartphones to do everything
And once
for them.
you've poked your meal with that thing, what are you going to tell the waiter? I no longer want this
Yeah, that's,
because there's too
way
many
too many
calories.
calories.
You've already poked it with
I
something.
don't think it's a good idea.
No, that's dumb.
Make phone calls with your phone and get over it. That's all. Can I talk about a toddler on a bus in a bit?
John and Heidi.
Heidi, I think the name of the movie is Baby's Day Out. Is that the name of a movie where a baby gets on a bus?
I think so.
Is that what? There's a movie. I don't remember what
I
it's
don't
called.
know. It wasn't
But
from my time.
it was from like the 90s, I think. Anyway, there's a toddler that jumped on a bus and took off, and nobody noticed. This happened in Hong Kong. This toddler happened to love watching buses and got the ride of his life after sneaking onto a double-decker, which zipped him halfway across town. The boy, 21 months old, that's over a year old, right? So that's like almost 2 years old. He slipped away from his brother on Thursday while they were playing, and he discovered that there was a bus. And an hour later, he was discovered on the bus.
Oh, my gosh.
It's not clear why the driver and the other passengers didn't notice him sooner. When they finally reunited him with his anxious mom, he repeatedly, excitedly said, "Buses! I like buses!"
Well, he probably got on with a crowd of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
And
there
finally, everybody else left, and they're like, "Is that your kid? That's not my kid. Whose
That's
kid
why
is
they
this?"
didn't notice, because he
I
got
thought that
on
was
with
your
a bunch
kid.
of people, and they assumed it was with one of the adults.
It's not my kid. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk about stuff. It says, "Dear, dear, dear" is the headline, but it probably has nothing to do with anything. These headlines kick my butt every time.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice too at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
We take baths, we bathe our children, we bathe our pets, but bathing wildlife, that's not all that common. A deer got a full bubble bath in Pennsylvania at a couple's home. It's a case of the buck and the bubble bath. Connie Beck and her hubby, Mr. Beck, were awakened by the crash of a buck in Howard, Pennsylvania. The Becks and the buck, it says the Becks figured their house had been hit by a tornado. They heard all kinds of noise. It was actually from a male deer, though. The buck ran past the couple's bedroom into the bathroom. Somehow the animal managed to turn on the water in the tub, knocked over a bubble bath in the process. Game warden arrived. They found the deer in the bubbly water. Officers subdued the animal with tranquilizers. A little while later, the clean and sweet-smelling deer was released into the wild.
Poor thing was probably so scared.
Can you imagine what that deer is telling all of his friends? It's like, you were not going to believe what I did today. I mean, it's the craziest thing. See that house over there? I went in and took a bubble bath.
It's probably like the deer version of Impractical Jokers. All of them probably dared him to go in and do it.
They're all sitting in the bushes watching. Like, there's no way. When you get in there, you got to take a bath. You're not going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. For those of you that have never seen Impractical Jokers, oh my goodness, those guys are so funny. We've actually had a chance to meet the Jokers. Very nice guys.
Awesome
guys.
guys.
So funny. And I'm hoping to do an interview with one of the Jokers here very soon. I'm working on doing that. We did an interview with him a long time ago, but I thought,
we've done two. We did one with Murr and one with Q.
That's right. So we're trying to line up another interview with the Impractical Jokers. They got all kinds of cool stuff they're working on. So, like Heidi said, this deer is one of the wildlife Impractical Jokers. But it really happened. Coming up, we've got some good news. I'm excited to tell you all about it in a bit.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is pretty good news. Many of us have been moved by the refugee crisis, but few of us have taken any action, at least not on the scale of this Christian couple in the northern part of England. After passing the Immigration Act in the UK earlier this year, stating that unaccompanied asylum-seeking children no longer have to be looked after by local authorities, a couple there, a Christian couple in the UK, opened their home not only to receive some of the children, but to become an assessment center for many unaccompanied children. This means that rather than going into a very impersonal institution, the first experience that these refugee children have now of the United Kingdom is a warm and loving family environment. How cool is that? They open their doors and they're letting these young kids that don't have parents, these kids are on their own. They're giving them a home and giving them love rather than sticking them in an institution. So I think that's pretty cool. What does that look for?
Well, that's all well and good until you find out the refugee child that you brought in is actually a 21 ISIS terrorist.
Okay, that's a different story.
But that happened in
the UK. It did just happen.
They adopted him.
I understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just have to be careful.
You do have to be careful. This is the good news, Heidi. You know how many other bad news stories there are every day? There are so many bad news stories. Let's try to leave the bad news out of the good news.
Life's not all sunshine and unicorn farts. You gotta be very careful.
Stop it. Who brought the sunshine and unicorns to this? I mean, I don't remember mentioning that. I just think it's really cool that this family, they went out of their way.
Very caring, very giving,
exactly.
And I hope we don't find them beheaded in a ditch
Would you
somewhere.
Just stop it. A wonderful Christian couple in the northern part of England invited these youngsters into their home, out of the kindness of their heart. And I hope that that's the end of the story. And you can read the entire story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, you hateful, hurtful woman. I mean, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
That's what I meant. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.